For water.
Hi there, board game geeks. Started here at Sublime Games again, and we are here looking at Sublime Dark with All or Nothing, and we're going to learn how we play. If you'd like to give us a rundown of how we play.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is Sublime Dark, and this has been in development since about 2016. We kickstarted it a couple of years ago, and it's finally printing now. So this is the prototype, this is the pre-production copy. So not the final version, a few things are going to change or have changed as we're printing it. But basically it's a 1 to 4 player brutal experience in dark terror. So it's definitely not for children, it's definitely our first 18 plus game. And you take on the role of these poor doomed harrow or sacks of meat who are exploring this town, the town of Blackfell. Which is a strange sort of liminal place where horrendous things are happening. And the game itself is sort of a love letter to the 80s body horror movies like Hellraiser and sort of the Clive Barker and those kinds of writers who messed me up as a kid. And so as you're exploring the town, you'll uncover clues and you'll manage a series of emotions. You have fear, grief, joy, and rage. And you'll be using those to overcome different encounters that you meet and different people and places in the world of Blackfell. And as you increase your emotions, you'll be able to tackle these encounters more easily. But the higher your emotions go, the more chances you have of going into a crisis. And a crisis could be terror, it could be like suicidal tendencies or a heart attack. Or you could die of ecstasy if you're not careful. So the object of the game is to try and discover as much about the world as you can before you are murdered by the denizens of this world. And these are the eremites, these handsome devils over here.
These ones at the front?
No, these are the cards that you'll be using as players to try and overcome the various encounters and discoveries in the game. And then these guys are going to hunt you down. So after a certain amount of time, after you've been playing, the Doom track will count down. That's this purple track here. When it gets to 0, one of the eremites will appear in the world and start hunting you. And there are 12 different adventures that you can play, or delves, 20 different eremites that you can encounter. So there's tons of replayability built into it, and it's kind of a campaign game as well, so you can link one adventure to the next if you survive long enough, and try and discover more and more about the underlying world. Each encounter that you have will link you to a story paragraph in the Sublime Tales storybook over here, which is 40,000 words of flavor text basically, and different encounters and adventures that you'll have in Sublime Dark.
There's a play like Betrayal at the House on the Hill where your tiles come out and they've got to match perfectly.
Yeah, and you rotate it so that the arrows converge, so you can make a path between those places. And when you move into a new tile, you'll place a discovery, which could be a rotten corpse or a locked door, and you'll spend the relevant emotions. You'll spend grief to look through the rotten corpse's belongings and flip that over, and that might give you a shortcut. Here we have a locked door. If you flip that over, you can gain a clue, and the clues are the things that you're after to try and discover more and more about the world. And they'll also give you ways to maybe, if you're lucky, defeat the eremites. And if you do that, you'll unlock a permanent boon that goes into the game, almost not quite legacy because nothing gets destroyed, but you'll be able to unlock new outfits and items that you can use to help you in future games.
So if you're playing like a multiplayer game, if you die, you just come back as spot number 3.
If you die before the eremite shows up, everybody loses, so that nobody's sitting around twiddling their thumbs. After the eremite appears, it's anybody's game because the time is on anyway. So at that point, if you die, you're out. If you manage to link to the next adventure, any dead Caro, any dead players will just respawn and move into the next adventure together.
To get traumatized even more.
Yeah, but if one of you manages to make it through, you all win together, and then you can keep the story going.
Co-op, semi-co-op, sort of.
Fully co-op. You'll need fully co-op, yeah, because the odds are stacked against you.
It won't be with my gaming lot. Right, greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thanks.